soon. Without a doubt.
Welcome to the All Funk No Bunk podcast. My name is Noah. On Instagram, I am at the Desert Hippie.
And I'm Nick, and I am at Bearded Dabber Reviews on Instagram. Today, we're going to be talking about edibles and our little mini web series on how to smoke and, consume your cannabis. With edibles, I just wanted to start with saying how they're made, kind of real quick touch on it. It is pretty much just concentrated cannabis oil. If you don't know what that is, refer back to our last video. We talk about what concentrated cannabis is, how they make it. They take the oil and they add it into food. That's essentially what edibles are. Bless you. And that's essentially how they make all of the edibles you're gonna find in a dispensary, pretty much.
Really all there is to it.
Another homemade method that a lot of people have been doing for a long time, and it's just to essentially heat up your flour. You can bake it, you can put it in a crock pot, whatever. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, but you heat up, ground up flour, actual cannabis,
at low temp,
and then you can add it into your food. It's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
From there, let's just kind of touch on all the different types of edibles.
Yeah, there's so many. Like with edibles, it's kind of fucking ridiculous because they found out how to infuse it into everything.
Yeah, it's every So you can get. Almost imagine anything you can eat. And more.
Yeah, and capsules. Like one of the things.
Capsules and capsules, also like
gummies,
troches,
cookies. Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So there's you can take it where it's just a little cube. You put it in between your lip and your gum, and it just dissolves into your mouth. So there's a bunch of different ways to eat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's just all of the foods. And they also make vegan, sugar free, all of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Gluten free. I've seen just about it all. There's CBD water.
Sometimes they sell their own butter, so you can make your own stuff.
They sell butter and honey, so you can infuse your own foods.
Or teas. You can just throw it right in your tea.
They make drinks. There's not just foods. There's drinks. So there's a whole slew of drinks. We have Happiest Hour.
They make
all of the cocktails. There's
there's so many.
And I know this isn't probably, that's not to get you high, but just, for cannabis. There's hemp milk. There's there's all kinds of ways to consume cannabis.
Some form of
through
cannabis.
Eating it. Or drinking it. Swallowing it. Whatever. There's just tons.
Shop around if you don't find something you like, because a lot of edibles, effect-wise, kind of come out to the same, as we'll get into dosing in a second. But, definitely if you have needs, dietary needs, shop around. You'll find someone that has sugar-free or gluten-free or the type of edible that you feel comfortable eating, for sure.
Or just maybe something that you think's most delicious.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just want to look around for what you think tastes the best, because some of them are so fucking good.
Yeah.
There are some that are absolutely delicious.
And sometimes you don't want them to be that good, too.
Yeah, because then you don't want to eat the whole box in one setting.
Yeah.
And that's what we should talk about next. We'll lead that right into it. Why you don't want to eat a whole box. Because if you eat a whole box, you will feel probably pretty sick.
Yeah.
And that's the worst of it. So at least that's the upside, is that, eat, no matter how much you eat, worst case scenario probably is you'll feel pretty sick.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're going to die from it. So that's
the high is just much more intense. Like with cannabis, with anything with cannabis, it won't kill you, but it's going to be a long ride for sure. And especially with edibles, they last longer, which effect-wise can be great. But if you overconsume, it's a long ride. Again,
for sure.
You kind of got to buckle up. So just to avoid that, and this is intended for beginners, so there is definitely a way we recommend to dose starting out, because all of your edibles have to be dosed out a certain way. Make sure when you're buying, you buy edibles that are either 5 milligram pieces or 10 milligram pieces. You don't want to get the single 50 milligram.
Even though this is for beginners, just saying, they make bigger ones.
They do.
If you need that.
Absolutely.
Just so you know. Just so you don't think that the only ones you can get are 5s and 10s. But for beginners, you should definitely be starting with 5s and 10s.
Yes. Just to figure out your dose. It may not necessarily be that a 5 or 10 milligram dose is exactly what you need, but you're gonna want to slowly progress and find out your proper dosage. So, taking one 5 or 10 milligram edible, really, I think a 10 is fine, personally. But if you're someone who has had a previous bad experience with cannabis and you're at all nervous about it, take a 5 or cut a 10 in half.
Exactly.
No big deal. take that, let it digest, because everybody's digestive system is different. We don't have an exact science, so wait 2 hours.
And on top of everybody's being different,
right?
I also think that every day and what you eat and stuff is different too.
True.
It makes a huge difference. There's been days where I've eaten an edible that didn't kick in for 2 hours, and then there's been days where I ate them and I felt it like instantly. Yeah. Like I swear it was 10 minutes later and I was already high, and I was like, whoa.
You never know.
Yeah, so I think it depends on the day and what you eat and what it's made of and how that mixes with your body chemistry and you know, the whole thing. Right. So it really depends. So you want to definitely wait at least 2 hours.
2 hours.
That's like the golden rule. So if you eat it and you're not feeling anything and you're like, oh, this wasn't enough, wait 2 hours before you eat more. Yeah. Because you don't want to wait 45 minutes and be like, this didn't do anything. So you eat a bunch more, and then 2 hours it kicks in, and it's intense. Yeah. Yeah. And
it will keep kicking you even while you're down.
You're like, yeah, you're just spinning. It's great. It's a great time. But yeah, so definitely be careful with your dosage. Start low, go up slow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, take that 5 or 10, wait 2 hours, take another one. And I would say continue that process until you feel like you've hit your desired effect. And I don't know, maybe I would definitely like to speak on some tips maybe if you overconsume for sure, because it definitely happens all the time, and
especially with edibles.
I
mean, people overconsume in every way by smoking and stuff, but with edibles it happens most often. I think. Yeah.
So I think this is a good video to touch on this. When you are experiencing essentially your body has so much THC in it that it's having kind of a little panic attack. And the best thing you can do is black coffee, warm shower, and put yourself in a comfortable place watching something you've already seen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Definitely, I think the hands down number one thing. With all the little tricks, there's a bunch of little tricks. But I think all of the major things to do, it is to get comfortable. Yeah. Whether that's under your favorite blanket on the couch or curled up in bed with a hot tea, whatever makes you feel like you're just safe and comfy, that's where you want to be, because that's just going to be the biggest. You're going to be like, oh, you know what, this sucks, but I'm okay.
And as someone who's like
I'm going to be okay,
susceptible to anxiety too, and I know we both kind of are, I need the movie or the visual stimulation of something I've watched before that I like, because it allows my mind to stay somewhere positive rather than
focus on something else too.
Yeah, because it's the snowball effect. You think of one thing and it leads into another, and you stay on that path. So you're trying to avoid that by doing this, and shocking your system with a warm shower, cold shower, or black coffee is just kind of
because for me, I like it. I like cold
for sure. Yeah,
when I'm super high, I like to be cold because
I think cold will snap you out of it quicker. But
I think for me it's just because I'm always sweaty and hot. I'm just a hot person. Like I'm always warm no matter what, so I think for me it feels good to be like cold. It's almost like when you feel sick and you have a fever and someone puts like a cold pack on your head or something, you know what I mean? You're just like, what is that? You know, even though I'm like, even though for a second I might be kind of cold, it's refreshing. You know what I mean? I'm like, ooh, that's good. I got like the chills a little. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, I'm back. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be. Otherwise, like if I get a hot shower, I feel like I'm melting. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, it's so hot. I'm like sweating.
Whereas I am skin and bone, and I am like, you put something cold on me, and you can hear my bones hitting each other,
rattling.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
So again, and this is like a perfect example of how cannabis varies from person to person. You really need to take the time and figure out your experience for yourself.
Yeah, experimenting is the best way to do. Something else I wanted to say too, real quick,
please,
is experimenting with it was when you said about finding your dose, and it might not be 5 or 10, it might be 7 or 12 or 37 or something. You know, everyone's dose is different, but I think it's also remembering to experiment with different times of the days and different, you know, styles of edibles and 100%. Stuff too, because I know like some people will do really good on 15 during the day or whatever, but they need more like 20 or 25 to get to bed at night. You know what I'm saying? So I think it really depends on, each person and what time of day and where you're at, and really experimenting with what makes you feel better. Because, if you notice that when you take, say 10, for example, at night and you sleep really good, if you realize you're sleeping really good on 10, maybe don't take 10 in the middle of the day. You know what I'm saying? Because you're probably going to be pretty out of it. You know what I mean? If that helps you go to bed that easy. So
I definitely
if you're gonna do it during the day, maybe drop down to 5.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get a nice good buzz, a little effect, and be able to stay awake. And
with we'll go more in depth on this at another time for sure, but I definitely think that for different desired effects with edibles, there's definitely different dosages and different ratios that you definitely be looking for. One of the things on top of that I definitely want to kind of lead into then is just that with each type of edible, like gummies versus things like chocolate, which are, I would say, the two most common.
Different too.
Very different in my opinion, and different in the way they hit. Sometimes with gummies, for me, they don't hit me, and I think that's the way that some people's bodies process gelatin.
I'm opposite with you then, because I feel like with chocolates, I can eat 300 milligrams of chocolate. Literally, I can eat 300 milligrams of chocolate and be fine. But if I eat 100 milligrams of those District Sativa gummies, I will literally panic and freak out.
Oh my god!
I will
milligrams.
I will be shaking. Oh my god!
And I eat 100 milligrams of those just fine. And don't get me wrong, they get me high, but I definitely think that some people's bodies process gelatin specifically differently compared to chocolates, because chocolate has such a high milk and fat content and things like that typically. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Whereas gelatin, your body really has to be able to break it down all the way to really absorb it. That's just a theory, but a good example of why you really need to try all sorts of different stuff.
All of them, yeah. Give them all a good try. Yeah. Experiment a bunch. Yeah. That's it. I think that's perfect.
I think that's really wraps that up.
And that's edibles. And thank you guys again for stopping by and watching our thing.
We'll
see you at the next one. Without a doubt.